Hi everyone, Stepan here with another game of trying to recreate harder than tournament conditions because I haven't slept all night. And it's a Benoni. Okay, so, it's a Benko. So often during tournaments I don't get a good night's sleep, and then of course it's very hard to play. So playing when tired is tough for me, and I'm trying to get used to it. I mean, normally I would just fall asleep. My dog kept me up all night, and I didn't get any sleep at all. Is not playing G6 punishable in any way? I don't think so, so I'll just play the normal stuff. Yeah, anyway, I couldn't sleep all night because my dog kept asking to go out, and I'm trying to play tired, which isn't easy. I'm struggling to calculate even the simplest variations, although the last game did go pretty well. There are a couple of options here. I don't know knight g4. Normal moves are queen a5, queen b6, rook b8. So he wants to go knight e5. I'm going to take that when he goes knight e5. And by the time he does that, what's the most useful thing I can do? I need to play queen e2 or queen c2. I need to go bishop d2. I want to go knight b5. And then I want to get my rooks into play. I will probably consider playing a knight b5, bishop c3 as well, to trade off his dark squared bishop. Okay, this I should take. I don't want my king dragged out. Although maybe I should have gone queen e2 instead of queen c2 to prevent knight c4. Maybe that was a good idea. So maybe I start knight b5. So knight b5, he does something. Then I go bishop d2 and get my rook into play. Is that the way to go? Do I really need to prevent knight c4? Well, if I go bishop d2 and he goes knight c4, I don't really want to give up my bishop. So I'll go knight b5 first. I don't think there's a downside to this. It also prevents queen a5. I mean, prevents. I would just go bishop d2, gaining a tempo. I never really want to go f4 here because I give him knight g4, knight e3 check in many positions. If he goes c4, then I believe h3, bishop e3 is fine. Or even f4, knight g4, knight d4, knight c6. But he can start undermining my structure with e6. Okay. So he just wants to take and wants to put pressure on f2. And then if I take, he can also put pressure on the d5 pawn. So if I go bishop d2 and he takes on e4, and I take with the queen, and he plays rook f2 and I go king f2, there don't seem to be any useful checks. The knight could go from g4 to f6 and to e4. I don't know this idea, so it's good that I'm facing it in a training game. I'm very tempted to go bishop d2. And then simply bishop c3. But he does have rook f3 or knight f3. So bishop d2 takes, queen takes, rook f3, bishop c3. Seems okay. If he goes queen f8, I can go rook f1. So bishop d2 takes, queen takes, knight f3. Is there a threat? Not really. Except for taking the b pawn. But I can go bishop c3. So I'm gonna go bishop d2. I don't want to do anything rash. Maybe there was a reason to go f3 or f4, but I just don't see it. Okay, I take. And what does he do? I don't see anything too spectacular. So I'm just gonna take. Knight g4 doesn't work because I take it. Rook f2 doesn't work. I want to go bishop c3 and get rid of his pieces in my position. If he goes knight d7, then bishop c3, knight c3, knight f6, and my pawn is defended by the knight. Or if he plays knight f6 straight away, then I could go queen d3. Okay, he went rook f3. So now I was thinking that I could go bishop c3, threatening to take the knight. He goes queen f8, I go rook f1. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with it. Does he have rook f2 now? So bishop c3, rook f2, king f2, queen f8, king g2. No, he doesn't. If queen f8, rook f1, I'm still threatening to take on e5 and take on f3. So now he has to move the rook. He cannot move the knight. And the rook probably has to go to f7, I guess. And then I have knight c7, knight e6. I think he's just losing. I mean, I have a passed pawn on a4, and I'm going knight c7, knight e6. I'm gonna have a knight on e6. This has to be busted for black. Unless I'm missing some tactical trick. I don't think I am, though. I'll just take bishop e5 if he doesn't move the rook. Okay. So now knight c7. I don't see a threat for him. So I'm going knight c7. and then knight e6. And then if I take on g7, I just go f4 and I win. This seems to be it. Doesn't even matter what he takes with. I take on g7, on king g7 f4, on queen g7 f4. Am I missing something? So knight g7. He takes, I go f4. No, I'm not missing anything. Yeah, it seems to be it. I don't think rook b3 does anything. I don't think rook f8 does anything. Everything is defended in my position. He doesn't have knight g4. Okay. Easy. This was easy. He allowed knight c7, knight e6. Okay, let's analyze. This is a 23 move win against the Benoni. Against the Benko, sorry. So a4, I don't know knight g4. I know queen b6, queen a5, rook a6. These are the standard moves. Against knight g4, yeah, people play queen e2. You either play queen c2 or queen e2. Maybe queen e2 was better, as I mentioned, because I would have prevented knight c4. Okay, now he played knight d5. Let's turn on the engine. He took with the knight. I went knight b5, which is correct. He played f5. I should have gone f4. Huh. Bishop d2 is a mistake, but why would I go f4? Let's see, knight g4. ef5, rook f5. This seems insane to me. So queen e2, knight f6. Oh, knight f6, I have g4. Yeah, I have g4. Wait, I have g4? How do I have g4? Who would see this? This is too much. The idea is g5 and queen e6 winning the rook. Okay, I went bishop d2, which I just didn't seem bad. fe4, queen e4, rook f3, bishop c3 threatening to take, queen f8, rook f1, rook f5, now knight c7. Yeah, I just win. Was there anything better? No, knight c7, knight e6, knight g7, queen g7, f4. That's it. I just win a piece. Kira, strpise. My dog still has digestive issues. Okay, I mean, this was the easiest Benko game I ever played. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.